Just let me know when you're recording. I'll get started.
You're good.
All right. What's up, guys? I'm Ashton. I'm gonna be talking about the how I think the drinking age in the South Carolina should be lowered to 18. So just like a background on it, the drinking age, there really wasn't a drinking age before Prohibition. It was just a state thing. It varied state by state, and then Prohibition happened, and that was like, you guys probably know, Prohibition, like there was no sale of alcohol allowed in the United States. And then after Prohibition ended in 1933, I believe, it then became like another state. Most states went to 21, and then by the 1960s, most states went back down to 18. And then in 1984, I believe, 84, Ronald Reagan passed the Age Act, where if states did not abide to a 21 age drinking, like a minimum drinking age of 21, then the federal highway funding for that state would decrease by 10%. So in about 3 years later, each state ended up, like all states would be at the age of 21. And so when doing my research for this topic and just like seeing both sides of maintaining it and lowering it, there's two things that really like just were really big to me. Like they just proved like why it should be 18 and not staying at 21. And one thing was like cultural aspect of it, and then just safety. And so I'm also like how I'm going to refer to this is because we're all college students, so we could all benefit from a talk like it being in a college environment. And so the number one thing with that people say that they're pro 21, the main thing about them saying it should stay at 21 is that the safety of students. And in my research, I found that actually probably lowering it to 18 would actually probably be safer. And so with that, you can say that when people are 18, that more or less that most dangerous, they classify dangerous situations to where binge drinking can happen is mostly at house parties and just not in a controlled environment like bars and clubs, like 5 Points in particular, if you want to relate it back to USC. And so at house parties, there's no supervision at all from anybody, and people are just like binge drinking and everything. And so this allows like a lot of stupid things to happen, and just injuries and even deaths could occur. And so this allows, so with lowering it to 18, the main argument for that would be it allows for the environment to actually change where most drinking occurs, because you're only 21 for myself. I'll be in college for 4 years, and for only a year and a half of it, I will be 21 to go drink. And so it just allows people to go out into an environment where it's more sustained, it's more safe, and it's just safer for everybody involved. And this allows people to just stay safe and to make sure that everybody in the community and just around are safer. And then the other thing brought up with safety is that there is a lot of money spent on keeping people safe right now in the United States. Right now, the National Center on Addiction and Substance Abuse, they estimate that 17.5% of consumer spending in alcohol is by underage kids. They estimate that's about $22.5 billion. So that's just people under the age of 21. It's $22.5 billion in just the US, which I think is like a ridiculous number. And so when you like take that number right there and you just think, like, how could that like just be not spent as much? And the way you can do that is by putting it into a cultural aspect. And by cultural aspect, I mean like other countries, like European countries, Italy, Spain, England, and Ireland, and then also Canada, their drinking age is 18. And so there was a research done by there's an organization called, I forgot what it's called, but the abbreviation for it is called CR. And the current president of it is a guy named Barrett Seaman. And he went to countries all around the United States, and he found that the main thing that was wrong, that the main thing he saw with safety purposes was that they were all house parties. It was all rebellious and stuff. Like it was kind of like a rebellious thing. Like you're all just trying to go around, and since the drinking age is 21, but you're in a place where drinking is like accepted, it's just like a rebellious thing to do. And he said that in countries in Europe and in Canada, he said that where the drinking age was 18, he found that there was not as many high risk situations occurring. Like students would just go out to bars where bartenders and just bouncers could monitor situations and make sure everyone was safe, because that's their job to do, is to make people safe or keep people safe. And he also saw binge drinking, which is he at his organization considers the number one risk for alcohol abuse. And he said he saw the risk of binge drinking like dramatically decreased, which is a good thing because you don't want to have any risk there. And then it also allows for a cultural aspect of it, allows for many people to like not think it's so taboo. That goes back to the rebellious thing I was just talking about. Like growing up in countries like, I think I saw in Ireland, it was like they can drink starting at the age of 12. And it's just like when they get to older ages, it's not as, it's not taboo. It's like you're just doing it. There's not anything really cool about it. It's just like you're just drinking like as an adult. And so this just helps kids normalize it and not think it's so rebellious and taboo. And then the main thing is just like you just want to stay safe and you just want to make sure everybody's good. And then this allows for just everything to be just normalized and just let alcohol be like just a good thing to like keep people safe and everything. And so I found this article by Boston University where they did an interview with two brain specialists, and the interview practically goes along saying that just like as long as you just like the two specialists, one is pro keeping the age at 21, one is pro lowering it to 18, and they both just said that the main consensus I got from them was that just it should be a state decision. And so if you in the South Carolina, like where I'm from Lexington, so our local congressman is Joe Wilson, and so if I wanted to like go to him and talk to him about it and just like talk about everything that I would like to, like if I wanted to be 18, like, and what his opinion would be on it. And so I have friends that work for Mr. Wilson, and so my friend actually went to Mr. Wilson, and Mr. Wilson isn't for lowering the drinking age, but he also said he also sees some of the benefits for it because he does agree with the cultural aspects of it, and also the how he does see it as taboo and rebellious. And so he said he does, but he also believes in the safety aspects. There's just too much danger, but that's also just an opinion based on person to person. And so, yeah, that's all I got for this, guys.
All right. My question is, would this affect college students' grades? You change the age?
As to the cultural aspect that I was talking about, the Bear Seaman guy, he went to a college in Canada, and he said that drinking there, like he saw more drinking in American colleges than he did in like the Canadian colleges, the multiple Canadian colleges he went to, because it was just at American colleges considered it's taboo and rebellious, and so people want to. It gives them, I wouldn't say a bigger reason to, but it's just there was just more drinking there, and so I say it would not. I'd actually say it'd probably increase the drinking age, or lowering the drinking age to 18 would be actually increase the effects, have better effects on your grades as a college student.
If they lower the age to 18, would that make more young adults like more alcoholic?
So that is like the number one thing that people that favor the lowering it have to face. And so there in Europe, because Europe's the main place where they get their numbers from, their statistics. And according to the New York Times, they did a research there, and I remember this now. According to the New York Times, in I think it was Spain, like people, it was like 5% less. It was like 5, it was
Mhm.
15. It was 15% less like people that's like compared to the United States, it was like 15% less people becoming like alcoholics later on in life.
Mhm. And I got one more question for you. Do you think more accidents would happen if the age of age, I mean, if the age changed? Like I'm talking about like drinking and driving, and
Like
people would get,
DUIs.
yeah, and people would get more into fights and stuff.
All right, so I have numbers on that I had because I thought that would be a question that came up. So according to the FBI in 2015, there were 47,000 DUIs for people under the age of 18.
Mhm.
Then for the ages 18 to 20, there were 79,521. So that
Yeah.
was in the US.
Mhm.
And then I went to like a European website and did the stuff. All of the stats were like lower. It
Yeah.
was, I don't have the exact numbers, but they were well, not, I wouldn't say all, but it was like it was a significant amount where it was lower.
Mhm.
So especially with liquor laws here, there's like, it's so, the FBI didn't really specify liquor laws while the other European website did. But
Yeah.
I would say that like with traffic accidents and stuff, like DUIs in particular, that
Mhm.
that goes back to the taboo thing. Like they're more educated, I think, is how I put
Yeah.
that. Educated about it in Europe.
Mhm.
So they know like because it's the reason why the drinking age got raised back up to 21 was because in the 1970s, 80% of or 60% of accidents were drinking related. Now,
Mhm.
then car technology has and safety has improved significantly.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like obviously drinking and driving you shouldn't do it, but
Mhm.
it's just in Europe they're more educated about it, and so they
Yeah.
I think there's less cases of it happening.
Mhm.
That's what I got for you with that.
My question is if it changed to 18, like I was 18 when I was a senior in high school, do you think
Yeah.
there'd be like a trickle down effect, like freshmen, sophomores, juniors, like
Yeah,
keep going
and
down,
that's one
down in
thing
age?
too. See, I was wavering between doing 18 or 19, and
Yeah.
so the 18 aspect, you're like those are high school. You can have high school seniors, and 19 that's mostly college people, and
Yeah.
so. But I said 18 because I said 18 because it's like the whole thing is like if you can serve for your country and like vote, like in the United States, 18 you're considered an adult. It's like to be able, like I guess that's one of the things that was always back in the day was if you're an adult that lets you have all these things. So with the relating it back to other people, I think if people are going to drink, they're going to find a way to drink. That's just kind of how I looked at it. Like so, if sophomores, juniors, seniors in high school want to drink, they'll find a way to do it.
Yeah, it makes sense.
My question was, do you think they should also lower the age limit for people to get into like bars and like nightclubs and stuff like that?
Um, I would probably keep that with the. It just depends on like what type of services are also at that bar or place like that, like what things they offer. I would probably keep it with the. I think because in the United States, isn't clubs you go into a club you have to be 18, I believe, and so or I might be wrong on that one, but I'm pretty sure that's right. And so you just can't buy alcohol there. But
Yeah,
it's
you
just
can go to a strip club at like 18, you just can't drink there.
yeah. It's like stuff like that. It's just like you just got to be. I think if you want to go to a bar, it'd be the drinking age. That's what I think, and that's kind of like what research has showed that like that's also a safer environment. So that's part of the whole thing is like you want to keep binge drinking from happening, and so bars are one of the safest. Like even though like accidents do happen in bars, they're also one of the safest places for drinking to occur. So I would just keep it with the drinking age that whether it's 21 or 18.
I had another question. Like, do you think if like we lower the drinking age, right? And you said like drinking is like a thing of rebellion. Like, you think people like instead of like drinking like underage, like you think they would instead go for like drugs or something like that? Like, do you think that would increase? Like drug abuse?
I haven't really thought about that. So, well, what I would say would be like I told John, like if you lower it, I think people that want to drink will drink. And so it doesn't have to be, it would be just more of a matter of like, what do you think? Because we're like in the United States right now, we're going through the whole thing of like recreation, I can't say it, but just like making marijuana and all that legal.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
So like, I mean, it's just more effective. Even for that, if people wanted to smoke, they would smoke. And so I don't think really like if you decrease it, there will be an increase. It also depends like what type of drugs you're also talking about, like which category. If you're doing like hard drugs like cocaine
I
and
meant like recreational.
recreational like marijuana and stuff. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I think it's just more of if you want to do it, you're going to do it no matter what the age. I just think you need to do it in a safe environment and just so that people are safe the whole time and that accidents and deaths don't occur. All right.
Nice job.
Appreciate it.